Welcome to Tech This Way.
All right,
Hello,
Max.
hello. This is Max from Justnaik. I promote Justnaik better lah. From Justnaik. Justnaik is basically a flagship product of Hackathon Data Sdn Bhd.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so Justnaik is a full software solution that has operational and cashless solution for bus companies. It's made
okay.
for bus companies.
So that's
Yeah.
your official tagline.
Yeah, sort of. I just got it right now on the go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, thanks for coming.
Yeah, sure.
Um,
This is recorded. Okay.
it is, yeah.
Okay.
Already started.
Okay. Alright.
Where did you come from today?
Oh, I came from another co-working space. Actually.
Oh, okay.
In Common Ground, Jayawan.
Oh, okay lah.
Yeah.
Once you're done with that, you time to move over lah.
Yeah, let's check it out. It's a very cool place. Later, want to tour myself around.
Oh, can.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So the session today really is more to understand about you and your journey as an entrepreneur,
Wow.
right?
Okay.
So Hackathon Data, not sure when that was set up. Go as far back as you want lah. I'm really more interested in your own personal journey, right?
Oh. Okay.
This
whole thing,
crazy
right?
world lah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually started this idea of helping public transport, helping bus companies, back in 2014.
Okay.
I joined a hackathon jointly organized by MDEC, Magic, and also another from US. It's called MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So they had this contest called MIT GSL back then. So I conceived the idea that we should do something for the bus sector because it is not attractive, but still there are a lot of issues happening down there. Very few innovations happening down there.
What were you doing at the time?
Was
that 7 years ago?
Yeah, 7 years ago. So I was still on my final year. Haven't formally graduate back then.
From where?
University Malaya.
Okay.
Then I conceived this idea. Then subsequently, surprisingly, we won the contest. But then the rest of the members actually don't intend to go further anymore.
This was your colleagues, uni mates lah.
Some were
Okay.
because it's a mixed team of 5 people.
Okay.
From different IPTA, IPTS from different universities.
Oh, sorry, hang on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Sometimes that happens.
Okay. Sure.
We'll need to rewind a little bit.
Okay. We can start all over again. No problem.
Yeah, that was 5 minutes lost. But never mind.
Okay. Quick one, right?
So Max,
Yeah.
welcome to Tech This Way. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Amran.
So really want to find out about your journey in Hackathon Data and how you started.
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so I started this idea about helping bus sector because this sector is full of problems. Passengers don't really like taking buses, as we all know.
So you were saying this was about 7 years ago at the hackathon. You were still at uni then.
Yeah, so I joined this hackathon. It's called MIT GSL. It is a joint initiative by MDEC, Magic, and also Massachusetts Institute of Technologies. So surprisingly, we won in that contest. But then none of the members actually want to take this further.
How many of you in that team?
It was a team of 5 people back then. Yeah.
So these are like a bunch of friends lah and cosmates.
Yeah, some we made friends over there.
Okay.
Some were already uni mates. Yeah, already. So none of them actually want to take this further.
What this? What was your idea that one?
Right. So this idea is about helping bus companies to improve their service delivery. So that they can attract more passengers, they can reduce their costs, they can improve their customer user experience for taking buses or taking public transport as a whole. right? So, well, I faced the difficulty back then. That was like 2014, very long time ago. I didn't even incorporate any company back then. So I was finding out a way to turn this into a reality, bring this from idea into a product, and hopefully there's a client, there's a customer using it.
But you were still at uni then, at that point?
At that point, when I joined the contest, I was still not yet formally graduated, but already end of semester, everything.
Oh,
done.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So I graduated from UM. So after that, I could have gone to engineering to practice as an engineer, because my academic background was mechanical engineering.
Right.
Then in fact I got a job offer even before graduate. But then eventually I decided to pursue a stranger path. So I basically joined. So because I know that I need to pursue my entrepreneurial journey, but yet I lack of resources, experience, connections, a lot of things I lack. So I decided to first let me settle down, look for a job first.
Yeah.
So I was moonlighting on these startups all the while. So it was I took these 3 years while I was working. I took these 3 years to basically get resources and get the market, get the talent to build the product as well.
So your mission at that point was really still to set up this company to run that idea.
Still, all the while
But,
still.
okay you don't have the resources yet, so you just started a job to pay the bills basically.
Yeah.
Sorry, you didn't explain. So what was the idea initially that won the hackathon?
The idea was very, very simple. It's basically just giving real-time information for the passenger.
Real-time information on
Of the buses.
Okay.
Of the buses.
What at the bus stop? When the bus is coming and all that.
When the bus coming.
Okay.
It's to answer that is to give that certainty.
Yeah.
But then as when I delve deeper into this industry, I realized that bus company have a lot of issues of not willing to opening up their data. Some they don't even have those data.
Okay.
Right. And some they have difficulty to turn this raw GPS data into reliable information, because you need some data processing over there. Then some they just unwilling to reveal their weaknesses. Right. It's not good to expose that, my services are not reliable yet. Right? But then as I delve deeper, I realized that I have to solve bus companies' problem. Bus companies' problems. Like they are looking for ways to optimize their costs, improve customer experience is something on their mind, but it may not be their first agenda. So I was at first, as you remember, I was coming from the passenger point of view.
Yeah.
So that need to change a bit. I need to create a much more comprehensive solution.
But how did you know about all these issues with the buses?
Right. So I do not work in a bus company per se. So how I actually compensate that is that I of course I read a lot. I read a lot about industry reports, research, and then I also get to talk to real bus clients, trying prospecting basically.
So memang cold calls you just go there and say hi, I'm trying to do a project.
That kind, that sort. And then another way is I did some market research as well, secondary research. And also I get to know one guy working in Prasarana.
Okay.
So this guy feed me a lot of information. So he is now already retired, like 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So these people, or to say all this input from these parties actually shape how our solution to be. Because I'm not someone from the industry, and I'm deeply aware about that as well. Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah,
for the first 3 years, you said you started job.
Yeah.
But then actually moonlighting
on the startup idea.
Right?
Yeah.
So then what happened?
So I was very fortunate. I would like to actually take this opportunity to thank my my first lady boss. She is Professor Dr. Rofina Yasmin.
Okay.
She is a director. She was the director of UM Center of Innovation and Commercialization.
I know her, yeah.
Oh, you know her?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. I was working for her directly.
I see.
Yeah, and I was
Well,
actually...
for that 3 years...
2 years actually I was
Oh, for
working
2
for
years.
her
Okay.
for 2 years.
So that was your job that you said you
that
joined.
was my
I
job,
see.
yeah.
At the CIC.
Yeah. So how I actually get this job also very interesting. I was already a startup guy. So I went around and I saw Prof Yasmin's speech on stage in Pullman Hotel some time back in 2014. So I saw she's really the kind of inspiring leader with great vision that I want to follow. And I think that her experience and the kind of exposure that I can gain from my involvement in this selling innovation, in short, would really help me to also sell my own product. Because I love selling innovation all the while. So all the while, even after I left UMCIC, when I pursue another job, I was all the while a BD guy and selling innovation.
Right.
So I like that, right?
Right. But when you say selling innovation, what do you mean?
Meaning that bring something from an idea or from the lab to the market. That's really tough and not it's not fancy at all. So involve a lot of hard work. So back in UMCIC, this is a bit UMCIC right? Sure. So back in UMCIC, I get to interact with a lot of researchers. Some with crazy ideas like us as well.
Share a little bit the role of UMCIC itself in UM.
Right.
What is their
role? Their role is to bring research to commercialize the research outputs, such as
from UM all the different faculty
Yes, like the patents, true licensing,
right,
that kind. So I was working as a commercials specialist.
Okay.
I was working there. So I really want to thank Professor because first of course is all the experience, and secondly was the grant given to me. I actually gotten a grant. Very few people know. I gotten a 40K grant from UM to start this bus idea.
Right.
To turn this into a real product instead of just a prototype idea. Right?
Yeah.
So I was also the second time lucky was I was trying to cold call few clients, and then
when you say clients here, bus companies.
Bus companies, right? So all the while I was doing it on the side, and my boss, ex-boss, was deeply aware about it, and she was very supportive as well, as long as it didn't affect the main duty here.
Yeah.
So I was doing it dedicatedly. No problem, I can handle both. Then for the first client, it was Petaling Jaya City Council. It was a government. Okay. So I have no political connections, no any special cables or whatever.
Yeah.
And but I managed to cold call a politician. This person is YB Yobin.
Okay.
She was back then an assembly with woman in Damansara. So my cold email actually caught her attention. Then she invited me over. And
what did you ask?
I basically just saying that this technology can help a lot of citizens to have more confidence in taking buses, to have especially the B40, right? So this comes timely because that time PJ, Petaling Jaya as a whole, the whole city, already running their own free buses for some time since 2012.
Okay. And
I approached them in 2016 or 15, I can't remember. Yeah. So it was about time they started to look into system. So mine is a system. It's a good system that provide them all kinds of data, which until today, Petaling Jaya is still my client.
So at that point when you were working and then doing both your idea, who was actually developing the solution itself?
So that my own tech team actually changes few times. Back then I had a guy from MMU, Multimedia University. So he actually saw values in my solution and we worked together.
Okay. Was he one of the hackathon guys?
No. He's not. He wasn't. Okay. None of the people from hackathon that I know of continue this idea with me.
I see. It was just you, right? Yeah. But then you sourced out these developers and all that to continue building it. Okay.
So these 3 years was more on like, first, of course, I grow personally. Second, I gain resources such as funding. I get to know more talents that could eventually believe in my cause and join me to build this. And I also take the time off to find clients, which eventually I landed on Petaling Jaya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was basically, in short, a concise summary of these 3 years.
But how did that go with the Petaling Jaya as your first customer? How was that experience?
It was again very, very interesting. I remember I had a very, I had many rounds of discussion with them. Some it was in a small meeting room, and then there was one time I went to like a parliament-like seats whereby there are 2 circles, inner and outer.
Yeah.
Then everybody was looking at me and asking me for self-introduction.
Right.
Still remember that moment. Then all the things, every words that I mentioned was minuted, and they even sent me a copy.
Okay.
So it was very exciting, nervous experience back then.
Yeah.
So I eventually get through it. Get the buy-in from everybody from mayor level until the executive level. But then there comes another problem, which is because to do projects or to do works with government, you need to have certain licenses, permits, approval, whatever you call it. To be more specific, like your SSM cert, your MOF cert,
Set up a company at least lah, right? Yeah.
all the stuff, right? And
So at this point you didn't have a company yet.
I had a company, but then I do not have the MOF
Right.
approval.
Yeah.
Or to say, at that point when they want to open up the tender, my MOF still stuck there a little bit. So eventually I have to get help from some companies as well. So I saw that selling innovation wasn't easy at all. I have to basically, not even sure I can share this, but sort of like self-orchestrate everything.
Okay.
Self-orchestrate
What do you mean?
means you have to get because it's a bidding project. It's a tender project. You have to find few companies to participate, whether they are for real or not. Right?
Oh, I see.
Right.
Right.
So I sort of have to self-orchestrate a bit.
Okay. But that's a real learning of the reality of doing business lah.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Firsthand.
how did you deploy? How big was the team at this point when you deployed it for the PJ buses?
At that point, it was a team of 4-person.
Okay.
Yeah, 4-person. 4-person. Yeah.
How is the solution itself?
The solution, basically, there are 3 components of it. The first component is the journey planner component. Journey planner apps used by passengers. We give them real-time information. We give them the convenience of lodging complaints. And then now we have a better enhancement to it, an addition to it, which is the cashless component.
Okay.
Right, which not yet launched yet for this second version. Right. Then the second component is the dashboard, whereby all the data is fed to the city council admin for monitoring purpose, for report generations, for auditing the services rendered by Rapid. In short, then the third component is actually a driver apps. You can understand it or you view it as a Grab driver app, sort of. So it basically adds a GPS data, sending GPS data every 5 seconds to the cloud server. I think it was the fastest back then, where we give real-time information to the passenger in the fastest manner in the whole Malaysia.
And it was accurate enough lah, using the driver's phone. Was it the driver had their own
So,
phone or they were provided with a phone?
they are provided with the smartphone itself, right? And then it also acts as a personal assistant to the driver. This is to understand as let's say they overspeed, they got alert from this device that stand beside it, right? And the upcoming one, we actually in fact would inform drivers if there are passenger awaiting ahead. So we think that this is something unique in the market because no GPS trackers can do that. GPS trackers usually are just mounted under hood in the engine, hardwired into the engine, and they don't do any interactions or empowerment
with the driver
with the drivers. So this sums up the whole system. It consists of these 3 components.
So with that with the PJ state PJ council, how many buses did you roll this out on?
30 over buses.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are the rapid PJ.
They are in fact operated by Rapid.
Okay.
Rapid Bus Neighborhood. But the owner or the paymaster is actually City Council, PJ City Council.
But you're saying that was a free service, is it?
Yeah.
PJ? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's free service. So PJ City Council fund everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So successfully rolled out your first project. How was it then?
It was very exciting. In fact, we helped City Council be the first in the whole Malaysia to roll out intelligent bus solution
Okay.
with the first.
Right.
So and then later on, only we saw companies like we just saw Selangor State roll out like the SITS app, right? SITS SITS app, and then we saw like other places like Iskandar started to have a sort solution. There only they come, which doesn't matter because after all, it is good for the passenger, everybody. Because my whole mission back then was really just to help passengers to improve, their certainty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what happened after that? So now you got your first customer. And then?
So this was actually interesting already. I was trying to replicate the success to more bus companies. So I remember 2018, I started to approach a new bus company. 2018. I think probably a lot of lack of my salesmanship. I couldn't secure new sales back then. So and the issue was like more on like they do not see the value of data so much. I was coming from the angle of data. I don't think people like them understand. Then I did refine my my pitch along the way later on and start to get buy-in later on.
Right.
So, but here's some ups and downs, which is I ran out of my resources in 2018.
Yeah.
So I went back to work again.
Okay.
Yeah, 2018.
Right.
So I worked for another 6-7 months, and then come out full time until now.
Okay.
That's basically a brief journey.
So then what happened? So you worked for 6-7 months, saved some more money, and then what happened then?
So I come back to this because I have more resources now. Back in 2019, I got an angel investment,
Okay.
and then with more preparedness. So I launch attack again, sort of
Right.
launch attack again.
Right.
And this time around, we saw that we must do cashless solution. So it took some time as well. It's not immediate because we were still rolling some new project for City Council. It's also still transport related, but it's other things. It's a chatbot. It's a chatbot for public transport use. So after that, MCO came. MCO hit us. So I think nobody has the mood to talk about because their buses are all in the garage.
Right.
So I can't do much. So
Yeah.
it was during then I started to join some accelerator program more lah. And I was lucky enough to be shortlisted by Magic. So and that's how I met you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the journey.
Okay.
So right now we currently still consider not yet roll out. Because also MCO is still in the recovery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But we do have buy-in, some letters of agreement from one bus company, and we are just waiting for the right time to roll out. So preparing lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Help me understand a little bit the industry itself, right?
Oh.
With buses, because all I know is in KL anyway, it's like rapid everywhere, right?
Yeah.
During my time, there was the mini buses and then the Srijaya, and that was it. But so how is the industry of buses? Is it like one big monopoly or multiple companies? How does that work?
Okay. This is a very, very interesting question. I thank Amran for you raising this question up. I think it is good to let more people to understand this industry and the challenges. Probably government officials also don't even know what happened over there.
Yeah.
So bus companies tend to be a bit monopolistic in their own city. because usually they operate based on the PSV license issued by APAT, or last time it's called SPAD,
SPAD, okay.
SPAD. So they're usually it's a family business for many generations.
Okay.
And
they normally is localized lah.
Localized, very
I see,
localized.
I
Yeah.
see.
So that's why we in KL we know about Rapid, because they present in Penang, Kuantan, Kamunting, and also KL.
Right.
But the rest of the places like Muazzam Shah, not even sure if you know of that place, right?
Yeah, on the way to Terengganu.
On the way to Terengganu. So all these are
Right.
operated by their own bus brands.
Okay.
Separate bus company. So in Semenanjung, Malaysia, means West Peninsula, you have about 100 bus companies, different bus companies.
Right.
100. And actually, only one bus company able to afford cashless solution, which is, we all know, Rapid Bus.
Rapid, okay.
The rest are technically not able to. Even if they adopt, they will after few months they will stop, or after 1 or 2 years they will stop subscribing the services because it's very expensive. Cashless solution in Malaysia is still very expensive. Imagine that it actually exceed the monthly salary of a bus driver, way more than that, and you have to pay every month. The bus company has to pay every month for it, and it's just single function component, which is just doing ticketing.
Yeah.
It doesn't even help you. It doesn't even add value to the passenger. It doesn't even add value to the operational as a whole. So it's just really just single function component. So for Rapid, because they are funded by taxpayer through MOF, they are wholly owned by MOF. So their whole ball game a bit different. They are able to spend a bit much more differently than the rest of the bus company. But for the rest of the bus companies, they are either rely on government subsidy for certain things, or they have to really look at their P&L, their bottom line. So they are very cost conscious, and because, as I just now mentioned, they are also home business for generations.
Yeah.
Their mindset a bit traditional, so they may be very risk averse to talking about adopting new technology in that sense. But fortunately, things started to change a little since, I think 3 years ago, whereby APAT made a requirement for all the bus company to must equip their buses with GPS, and all these must be sent to the command center, so-called, and this will qualify them for ISBSF, a name for claims ISBSF is a fund for all the bus, right?
So SPAD normally in one location they will issue out one license lah. So is there competition in one place, or is it normally just one?
This part is very interesting. But of course this is not currently not yet my area of expertise. My software cannot help in that sense yet. But APAT or SPAD, last time known as SPAD, they would actually hire external consultant to do some kind of survey to avoid overlapping of services, as well as to find out, because there are routes which have very low demand, but you still have to do it for social purpose.
Yeah.
So it's called social routes.
Okay.
So they have to actually find a good balanced mix of a bus company can actually serving social routes, and at the same time still maintain profitable routes, so that their cost is a bit offset lah.
So the routes themselves is something the SPAD will tell them lah. It's not like they tell you, okay, you can take Muazzam Shah, then up to you lah how you want to operate it. Is it? Or SPAD will actually say, okay.
It's two-way. Bus companies, because they're already operated even during the Britain times, right?
Even before SPAD was there, okay.
Right. So it usually is two ways. Bus company can propose, and then APAT is basically the authority to approve.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you were saying there's about 100 of these running in Semenanjung, Malaysia.
Yeah. Not yet included Sabah Sarawak
right.
yet. Yeah.
And how many buses are there out of these 100?
The statistics is showing that there are 40,000 buses.
40,000 buses?
Wow. In whole Malaysia.
Right. Run by these 100 companies.
In whole Malaysia. Yeah, I think more than 100 already. If like this, it's more than 100.
So each company, I guess it ranges lah. Some will have a few buses. Some will have a few.
Some are very small, lesser than 10 fleets. Some are large. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And And usually, if they have the stage bus license, they will also have express bus license.
Okay.
They come in both.
Right.
So express bus is really that is profitable. That really make them money.
Well,
A lot
except
of
for
money.
right now lah, when there's no.
Except for right now, everybody
there's
is
no
hit
cross-border.
lah. Everybody
Yeah,
is hit. Even Asia, right? So
Yeah.
transport basically go quite in tandem with the growth of tourism. If that actually affected, same goes to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, so go back to your business, right?
That's an industry sentiment lah.
Yeah. You know, it's good to at least have some background of of that, right?
Yeah.
So you were saying that initially you wanted to help just with the GPS thing. Right? Oh no, in fact, first it was the
Giving
bus
information
rider themselves, right?
Just want to give information to the riders. It was a very innocent idea, really.
Right.
Just simple as that. Yeah.
And then as you speak to the bus companies, you realize they've got more problems to solve lah.
Yeah.
Themselves, right?
Yeah.
So then it's evolved to providing more the ticketing side of the buses.
Both, which is operational, the operational side, operation software side, and also the cashless solution side.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this is an extension to the information tracking for the bus passengers lah.
It's an extension.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you see as your big plans then? Okay, so now payments is one, right? How else can you improve the bus services for the customer or even for the bus companies themselves?
In my company, we advocate these three strategies for bus company to really want to improve their services. First is that they need to go mobile, meaning that give real-time information, give the convenience of payment, give the convenience, everything convenience to the tips of the fingers of their customer through mobile. Then another is to go lean. Helping them to make use of data analysis to optimize their operating costs. For example, if they know the demand is there during these certain times, allocate more bus or trips over there, right? When there are none, why not just cancel your trips at all, right? Because they are already giving real-time information to your passenger. They all know what time your bus is arriving. Then third is go cashless. Because I forgot to mention one more thing. Why bus companies looking for cashless solution? Because in the industry, in the current cash handling, whereby bus drivers collecting fare in the form of cash, some drivers tend to, whether it's by accident or by intention, they take partial of the cash.
Right.
So that actually amounts to that actually contributes to 20% to 30% of revenue loss to bus company.
That's huge. 30%.
Yeah.
Typically, I don't know. I was going to ask, what is the typical amount of cash that the buses will have with them at the end of a day? But I guess it depends really on the routes and all that lah. But on a more busy route, how much money does a bus driver collect in a day?
Really it range. But that the practice is that the bus driver would, at the end of each trip, they will need to quickly report this to their operation manager in the hub itself, in the depot itself.
Oh, what is a trip? A trip is a whole
Trip. Yes.
day, or?
Yeah, trip is basically you start from point A and then you go all the way and then you come back to the point A again.
Oh, I see.
That's considered one trip itself.
Okay.
Right. So once you get back, the bus driver needs to take the cash, all the stuff, and report to the operation manager.
So it doesn't accumulate for the whole day in the bus lah.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
But even then, you're saying there is still this 20 to 30% loss lah.
Yeah.
Leakage lah somehow.
Yeah. So this leakage is really because lack of transparency and visibility. So what we want to solve here is let it go digital, let it go cashless completely. But the adoption cost still has to be very affordable for bus company. That's the strategy. So we advocate go cashless, go mobile, go lean. And this actually satisfy all the parties, satisfy the passenger, whereby they have more clarity, more certainty about the services and the convenience of paying cash, paying fare via cashless, right? Then it satisfy driver because our solution also provide the convenience for passengers to tips the driver.
Oh, okay.
The tips them. Right?
All right.
Then we also help them to remind driver, for example, if there are passengers waiting ahead. Right. Then it satisfies the company management or the operation manager because we give them all full visibility and control. So we satisfy all these party. And in fact, I see that down the road, we are able to repair the broken relationship between passengers and the drivers. Because bus drivers, they are the first line worker of their bus company.
Yeah.
They are the face of the bus company, and stage bus is a very public facing company.
Yeah.
You have to take care of that reputation, take care of their customer service experience. So if they are able to see huge value for such a nominal subscription fee that we provide, they definitely would go with us. So down the road, I believe the whole Malaysia bus companies will use us. Yeah.
But I'm surprised, right? Because you're saying that, okay, there's over 100 companies, right?
Yeah.
And only one, right, has this kind of capabilities today, lah. So surely other people would have tried, or I'm just surprised that, up until now, especially when we're talking about everything's being digitized, right? And yet nobody has addressed this issues with the 99% of the buses, right? Why do you think that is?
Yeah. I think because most people don't know, and they don't take interest, and they don't even take the buses themselves. Right? Or even if they take, very seldom. So they are not very aware. And there are already social stigma attached to buses, whereby people will say that you can't even take a bus when they are ghosts. They will went missing, right? That kind of stigma, right? So living with only the captive customers, captive passenger, these people are mostly, we still have to admit that most people who take public transport are made up of B40 group. And B40 group is a huge chunk of group in this social class of Malaysia. So this group of people, they are already very busy with making ends meet.
Yeah.
There are very little innovation that can happen there.
So do you think that it's in itself might be a problem with cashless, because you will have to ask B40s to have a phone at least, right? To do the payment.
So again, I have to really thank MCO hitting us, because now people know that you can use smartphone to scan things. And we are going along with the behavior whereby you can use a mobile to scan and scan in and scan out, and done. Your fare is automatically deducted from your so-called wallet account itself, right? So and for passenger who still very inclined towards cash, right, this may be made out of people who are senior citizens, right? For them, we also have a card-based solution, but it's a QR card lah. It's a QR card. So our whole cashless payment is basically based on QR.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So our solution is way more affordable than touch and go, and we are not just a cashless component, not just a ticketing solution, but it also address your operational needs, that sort of things.
Okay. Okay. Just back to your own personal ambition, right?
Yeah.
Why is it that even right from uni you say, hey, you want to set up a business, right, to run by yourself, and not just look at, okay lah, you have a degree, you can get a job and be an engineer, right? What is it about your own personality that makes you want to be an entrepreneur?
I think maybe it is really just very I saw the problem and I want to solve it. I feel like I'm compelled to solve this.
Right.
So probably this makes people think that I can be a good entrepreneur. Right. If I want to really do a business, I can just start an e-commerce store in Shopee, right? And I can start selling, and still is making money, right? But this not really solving a huge problem, right? And my ambition, what I love is to solve something big or huge enough, and I can still reap monetary benefits from this whole process.
Not charity lah, obviously. Right?
And not charity.
Yeah, it is a business lah.
In fact, people who run charity run like a business. They're making a lot of money. Really, I'm not sure if I get convenient to say this, but really, but I won't name anybody. But you just be careful whenever you are doing some donation, because these people are profiting, but they are on the front. They are like,
wow,
right,
good
very
organization.
Like on the front, they are really poor like that, but they're sucking out a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's now Oh, the other thing I wanted to ask was, so you started this before MCO, right? And
Yeah.
then MCO happened, and then now, as you say, slightly recovering, right?
Yeah, it's recovering.
How has it impacted the industry itself?
Industry as in the bus industry, right? So stage bus industry is definitely is hit. Even express bus industry is hit. Aviation industry is hit. Low ridership is expected. Even is for certain routes started to have passengers coming on board, but ridership has been all-time low all the while, all this while. But yeah, they are recovering. So they have to reduce for certain bus companies. They reduce their services, or they totally stop their services for during this time to stop bleeding.
Yeah.
Is what they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully with things picking up again,
Yeah.
right? So you say you've got your systems now getting prepared for
Yeah.
deployment, lah, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess in terms of the immediate plans, is it just a question of meeting up with as many of these bus companies as possible, and then deploying it out?
Yeah. Or there are a few ways to go about it. Because public transport buses per se is somehow related to government. So I can also knock door to MOT. I can also knock door to certain states and so on. So yeah, I'm trying to do that as well. Trying to letting that to know, and that's why we are currently rolling out a marketing video. Going to be published soon.
Okay.
We will be using this video to. It's easy to deliver the information through a video, especially right now.
Yeah.
So we wish to actually capture the interest from as many parties as possible right now. Yeah.
So from a geography standpoint, what is your immediate plans? You're going to focus on Klang Valley first, or certain cities? What are you going to do?
I have the feeling that because I'm in talk with few bus companies which are not confined to Klang Valley. In fact, one of the bus companies that we signed with is actually in Muazzam, in Pahang itself. So not confined to Klang Valley. It can be quite. I do not have a clear answer yet for this one. Yeah.
But I guess it's a question of finding wherever the customers are, lah, right? I mean, where the bus companies are, lah.
Yeah.
But in terms of pushing your product, right?
Yeah.
Is it something that is you have to be physically there to to demonstrate the system, put it on the bus, and all those kind of things?
Okay. So technically it is possible to do deployment remotely. So meaning that if let's say a bus company or so city's council in Indonesia want to adopt, right, technically they can. But at this moment, we are still very high touch.
Okay.
Although our technical side, our back end and our front has the facilities for self sign up. Meaning that bus companies can self sign up themselves, pre-populate the data such as their fare table value, and they can start going cashless. But I believe they will still need to have an account manager, a dedicated account manager, to be on ground, to be guiding them or even providing some basic training. But I believe down the road, as when our company become much more matured as well, we are able to do a low touch sales model. Yeah.
So with that high touch model, how many people do you need? How big is the team now that you have to drive this?
Our team currently is just a team of 4 people. Yeah, it's just a team of 4 people. Actual doing sales guy is basically me, and I do recruit in the middle of recruiting 1 or 2 agents or SI players, system integrator players, whereby they can actually make money from reselling my solution and deploy it as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, what is the model for your revenue model?
Well,
it's
just a subscription. Subscribe our software license, and is very affordable. And then on top of that, we also have another model which is taking a transaction fee for every ticket sales.
Okay.
That also.
So for a bus fare of, I don't know, 50 cents, $1, so you just take a cut of that.
A cut of it, yeah.
Okay. Okay. But at least the deployment, if it is quite straightforward, right? Apart from maybe the dashboard for the owner of the bus is just your PC in the office.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
The customers,
Just
would you white label the app for each of these bus companies?
Okay, for this moment, I do receive such a questions or requests. But at the moment, we are not doing any white label. We are telling them that you wouldn't want that because we will charge a premium. One thing.
I see.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to develop it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because we have to maintain another backend for it. It's not a shared database anymore, right?
Yeah.
And also, we are saying that you want to expose your services to more people. So you should actually like sort of like Shopee kind of a concept. You open a store in Shopee, right? You don't ask Shopee to create a online store for you,
Just for you, yeah.
right? So this is how we goes. We are a platform that aggregate all the bus company in one place, whereby they can cost sharing. They can even share passengers as well.
Oh, actually, yeah. So if that's the case, so somebody with your app, so if there is a company in Ipoh that's using your platform and one in Penang, so are you saying that as a customer I can just use the same platform to take the two different buses?
Yeah. So you are a passenger. You now using this solution. This our apps called Justnaik. You are able to see all the bus services from our participating bus company.
Okay. So that's even better lah for the people who are just visiting, right? You see a Justnaik network and then you can.
Exactly. You don't have to go to another city and download another app.
Yeah, correct. And if you white label it, then that beats the purpose lah.
Yeah, that beats the purpose. Yeah.
Okay. So that's something interesting. Yeah. So then that's why payments is quite key to this whole platform lah, right?
Yep.
The ability to almost, if you can do it as a wallet, it'd probably be a wallet, potentially as well, right?
Yeah. That is currently the short term plan lah. The short term plan.
Okay. So what is the longer term plan for Justnaik then?
We want to go regional, definitely, because as a whole, Southeast Asia is still a growing region. It's a growing region, a developing country lah. So public transport not confined to bus. We want to go regional. We also want to go beyond buses.
Okay.
Because these solutions, when we build this solution, we start with the mindset that it can aggregate different mode of transport. Just see as like Google Map, but with the convenience of making payment. And with the big size, with such giant size like Google Map, they just started to roll out paying for parking just this year through Google Map. In
really?
US.
Okay.
In US only.
Right.
And it just roll out in about lesser than 150 cities. Such a big size company, they just started. Right. And if you look at Move It, I'm not sure if you know about this company, but it's an Israel-based startups that actually provide public transport software solution for public transport agencies.
Okay.
So Move It, this company in Malaysia also has its presence. It's a crowdsourced app. Even with this, it's a 900 million valuation company. Even with such a big size company, they just roll out cashless solution, full scale in the whole Israel, just end of last year.
Okay.
So for us, I think that we are way smaller than that. We are not yet even. We are still technically bootstrap stage, right? Able to secure interest, and just because of MC, I think we are still doing fine. Yeah, we're still doing fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So going regional is one.
Going regional, going beyond
buses.
Beyond buses. And lastly, we want to actually hopefully one day we can actually work with banking networks or any e-wallets outside there to enable another payment services through their wallets or through their banking apps to pay for their transport fares. Then they don't have to use us to make cashless payment. It's just that during this time, we just want to show the proof of concept that it works. The technical side works, and the fare is able to be deducted accurately. Yeah. Okay. So that's a long-term plan. Yeah.
Cool. I guess just one last question from a business standpoint is your competitors lah. So do you because I guess from a concept standpoint, it's not that difficult. Right, it's just a question of somebody putting money in and resources to build a solution like this, right?
Okay.
Do you see any competitors coming up that might derail your plans?
technically, Touch and Go can do that as well. They can come in and do that as well. So in fact, everything can be cloned. Can be cloned. So what is special about us is that we are really passionate about solving public transport problem, and we have the actual implementation experience. We know the problem best. For competitors, I think there are a lot of software agencies or software house creating journey planner app from time to time as well, right? But you can see after some times it went obsolete, and then people no longer pay attention to it anymore. It's very different. So I think that we are in a very good, we have a very good portfolio and good expertise to deliver solution that is supported by continuous R&D. Yeah.
Okay.
That's us lah.
Really last question.
Yeah.
So you just mentioned just now, I just recalled that you are still at your bootstrapping stage lah, right?
Yeah.
So what are the plans from a funding standpoint to grow further? Or do you think you don't even need external injection yet?
Funding wise, we are not actively looking at this moment. We think that probably we can start to look at it back once we have more traction. Yeah. But if you look at others, big players or like Google Map or Masabi, there's one company called Masabi from Europe.
Right.
They are doing very similar things as us. And Move It. I think their solutions are selling at huge amount. Their solution is not cheap at all.
It's expensive lah. So
ITS, Intelligent Transport solution, in short, is not cheap after all. But the reason we are able to make it such cheap is because how we select the choice of technology. We are just basically we're just making use of Android device.
Right.
At the hardware level, we beat everybody. Yeah.
Okay.
And QR scanning behavior is becoming prevalent.
Yeah, and that really, as you say lah, I have to thank COVID and MCO lah, right? People are so used to QR paying everything now and using cashless to pay, right?
Yeah, but cashless still as a whole, Malaysia-wise, adoption is still low. Still low. This is a challenge lah. This is a challenge for even anyone who wants to come into this. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. Hey, okay, Max.
Thank you. All right.
Hey, thanks a lot for coming in, man.
Thanks.
So maybe maybe another 6 months we catch up again.
Can.
And you can show your video and see. Hopefully there'll be a couple more companies after that.
Yeah, sure.
Using the thing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, okay, cool. Thanks.
Okay.